Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So we're going to get right into it. Spirit have asked me to get some heartwarming messages for you guys, so we'll see what comes through. And already they're showing me a peacock feather, but it's not the usual colours. It's a peacock feather, but it's black and gold. So you could be seeing that print everywhere, or maybe you guys just bought something that has like a peacock feather print, but it's a black and gold type of colour, type of theme. But it's a very beautiful pattern. So what messages do the collective need to hear? And I'm also hearing somebody's ancestor is telling you not to slouch. Or there's something about your posture that maybe you've just, maybe you've been working on your posture and you're someone who would usually like slouch a lot, or maybe you have problems with your back, but they're telling you not to slouch. And they could have said this when they were on this side, when they were earth side, but it's something about your posture and them telling you not to slouch, like to sit up straight. But it's also like they're praising you for sitting up straight. So I feel like your posture has recently changed, that maybe you've been working on it. But what messages do the collective need to hear right now, Spirit? Flying everywhere. Where'd that go? Okay, so the first poem we have here says, "Weed and wine are our vices, still connected to God despite this. Negativity isn't welcome here, demonic activity doesn't bother coming near. When you stand up and face your fears, cleanliness is next to godliness, that can't be made any more clear. Dancing with the devil will leave one awfully dishevelled. Rise up and face the sun, pray with an inner devotion, live by the heart of a lion. Today the moon is in Leo, if you take a look through the keyhole, you'll see glory, worship and praise. There'll always be brighter days when you walk through struggle with grace." And while I was reading this poem, I was seeing someone kind of walk into, it kind of looks like a temple. It was just a very beautiful old building, but it has really beautiful architecture, both on the outside and inside it is even more beautiful. So it's like you walk in and you're like, wow. Particularly as you look up in the ceilings, there could be like a beautiful painting on the ceiling. This is also where I'm seeing that print again, like the peacock feather, but it's black and gold. And I'm also seeing like stained glass windows. So you guys could have recently visited somewhere like that literally took your breath away, that had really beautiful architecture. Or maybe you're planning on taking a trip and to this kind of city, and it is, I'm here in Spain. Like Spain, it is giving Europe. It's got a really beautiful architecture, and it's both outside and inside, but inside is even more beautiful. But this can be taken as that metaphor as well, like you guys are beautiful on the outside, but you're also beautiful on the inside. And this is because all of that work that you've been doing on yourself, when you have been doing a lot of inner work and shadow work, it literally starts to shine through. It shines through your eyes, it shines through your face, it shines through your physical appearance, how you carry yourself, how you walk. And that's probably why they're bringing up the posture, because there's something about your posture that has changed. Just like how you sit and how you carry yourself has changed. Obviously, that's the confidence. There's a lot of confidence that's been growing within you. And if you feel like it hasn't, you're about to find your confidence again. You're about to find your feet again, I'm hearing. So the next poem we have here says, "Flowers, they whisper to me, with stories of beauty and serenity. They hold ancient codes that beam down from the sun. If you gaze at them long enough, you will hear a sweet song. A treat for the garden and home. They shine so bright, a heaven's delight, lovely, lovely flowers." So you guys could be working with flower energy at the moment, but I'm also getting this more so that you're getting a lot of codes and a lot of downloads right now, both from the Most High, from God, but also from Sirius Star. Sirius Star is very, very significant. They're saying it's very significant at this time of the year. So maybe it shines brighter, or the codes and the downloads are unable to get through and integrate within humanity because the veil is thin at this time of year and there's a lot of spiritual activity. So people are more tapped into their intuition, more tapped into the spirit realm, because you have no choice because the activity is so high. What else, Spirit, do the collective need to hear right now? Okay, so this next poem here says, "His path was that of a fairy tale, myths and imagination, could they be real? He slayed dragons and demons in his sleep, but whilst awake other people's words made him weep. One day a guardian angel appeared, with the brightest wings and a multicoloured beard. You are to become a wizard in this life," he told the boy. "Wipe your tears, pick up your spiritual staff. This will be your armour in the waking world." As the boy's eyes lit up in awe, he realised this is what his dreams had been trying to tell. Only a few are chosen for the path of magic. To listen to others, now that would be tragic. From then on he followed the yellow brick road, only listening to guidance that came from his soul. Some of you guys could have a child in your family, And maybe it's a niece, nephew, maybe it's your child that suffers with dyslexia. Or maybe when you were a child, you suffered with dyslexia, which has recently got better. It's literally like, because I was reading it, but it's literally like some of the letters and the words were kind of literally moving, or they were flipping on themselves. There's something about how somebody reads within your family, and I'm getting like a little boy energy, but it feels like a child that has this struggle with reading, or they could suffer with dyslexia. Or maybe it's that Passover loved one that was coming through. Maybe they suffered with dyslexia when they were a child, and maybe it wasn't picked up on in their time. So the next poem we've got here says, walk towards the sun, your new timeline has begun. Through the archway, jump in the gold carriage, no longer carrying that old baggage. A double rainbow overhead, forgive but don't forget. Shake the magic 8-ball, it foretells a wave of good luck. Wish granted, never again will you remain stuck. So a lot of you guys are really about to enter that new chapter. You're about to move into a new beginning. Some of you may not be feeling like it. You may be feeling very somber at the moment, or like an eerie feeling. That's just because your body is purging. So your physical body is playing catch up with the energetic changes and the spiritual work you've been doing. The physical body, obviously, because it's in this dense, in this realm, Mother Earth's realm, takes a bit longer to catch up. And that's what's happening. So your body could be going through like weird, weird symptoms. You could be having, wanting to like touch my face around here. You could be having like a breakout with spots. Some of you could have a lot of tension in weird places in your body and wanting to like rub or hold my knee. Some of you could be using like those heat packs. I'm seeing someone use a heat pack on your knee, on your joints. So you could be getting like muscle pain. That's coming through for someone, but you do hold a lot of light. We have the sun come through a few times in this deck, in a lot of the poems there. So you're very connected to Christ consciousness right now, and you're very connected to the downloads that you are receiving from the Most High and from Sirius Star. They keep saying Sirius Star and showing me like a really, really, really bright star. What else, Spirit? And I'm hearing this is what you are to become. So you are to become this really, really bright star. You are someone who needs to really claim your light. Some of you need to be doing work on your throat chakra when it comes to speech. And again, I'm staring at that poem and it's talking about what line did you want to repeat? One day a guardian angel appeared with the brightest wings and a multicolored beard. You are to become a wizard in this life, he told the boy. Yeah, so a lot of you guys, you're supposed to be a teacher. You're supposed to be that person who shines your light and is supposed to be very, very confident. And they're showing me like the same walk with swagger, but they're also using a quote like strut like an angel, strut like an angel. So they want you to be in your power and kind of be like arrogant with it. Be a bit arrogant with it. They're like, you've done being humble. You've been humble all your life. You've kind of played in the background all your life. You've been that like almost third wheel or that extra part in other people's lives, and it's now your turn to step in the main character energy, because you don't belong playing an extra. You're never supposed to be playing an extra. You're always supposed to be playing the lead, the main role. And that's what's happening right now, but you need to be prepared to move into this new beginning and to claim the fact that you were supposed to be the main character, because you would have been used to kind of being in the background or being overlooked or almost feeling invisible. Some of you guys could have suffered with an abandonment wound. Or what do the collective need to hear right now, Spirit? We have 8 of Swords. You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Let me see, there we have a boat. And I love how it has a cross on it. Again, the confirmation of the Christ consciousness and how you're very, very connected to the sun and that kind of energy. Like you're supposed to shine your light. And you're supposed to be not necessarily followed, but lead by example. You're supposed to lead by example. And a lot of you guys are really stepping into this role now, and you know you're being prepared and being pushed to step into this role. For a lot of you, it can feel very, very uncomfortable at first because you're not used to this. Again, you're kind of used to being in the background, but now it's your time to be seen. It's like you're being pushed onto the main stage and the spotlight is shining on you. It's your time to be seen. You're kind of being thrown into the limelight by your ancestors and by the divine, by the Most High. But a lot of you guys, you're moving to brighter horizons. Some of you could be traveling, or you will be traveling a lot more in the future. And when you travel to new lands, this is where you really find your footing, I'm hearing, when you travel to new lands. So you may find like your abundance and your like finances, I'm getting finances, isn't where you're residing right now, but it's in another country. It's like when you take that risk and that leap and you move to another country, this is where you realize that, okay, this is home. Home isn't necessarily where you currently live or where you are from, but you will be finding home in this lifetime. That's too many. Can I get a few cards, please, from this deck? Thank you. We have Knight of Swords. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. Let me read it again. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. And they keep saying you're finding your footing, you're finding your footing. And this is what you're doing right now. So you could have felt a bit lost. It's like someone who's using a compass and you're trying to figure out where to go next. It's like you're in the middle of the wilderness. You're like, okay, where do I go next? And you're not even sure if you can trust your own feet. But this is about to shift. So some of you may be called to move to a different country, move to a different city, move to a different state. You're being called to move. And when you take this leap, that's when you have that huge aha moment. Some of you may kind of be in regret when you do take that leap and that risk. Like, okay, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I do this earlier? You don't want to be having those kinds of thoughts because divine time. Everything happens in divine time. And everything happens for a reason, even if we don't understand those reasons or see those reasons at first. What else, Spirit? Jesus. I'm going to take this one that fell on my lap here. It's like something is being handed to you. I'm hearing being handed to you on a silver platter. Something is going to fall into your lap. Well, that's how it feels. It's as if it's being handed to you or it's going to fall into your lap. Maybe that's how other people see this opportunity or this blessing that's about to come in. But the reason it's coming in is because you got yourself into alignment. You did all of that work behind the scenes that other people aren't going to see or never going to know about because it was between you, your soul, and the Most High. And they don't need to know about it. Don't ever feel like you need to justify why opportunities and blessings are coming into your life. Why good things are happening for you. They're happening for you because you deserve them. And God is bringing them to you. God is bringing them to your door. You've got the Ten of Pentacles. Not what we have, but what we enjoy constitutes our abundance. Some of you could be writers. You could be into music. Some of you could be songwriters. And this is where the big blessing is going to come in. Or you could also be writing a book. But writing is very significant because that card earlier, I'm staring at it again when I was struggling to read. It's like the words and the letters were changing. So maybe some of you do have like dyslexia. You always found it hard to speak, to express yourself. And you find it easier to express yourself with the written word. You may be like a really brilliant channel, I'm hearing, when you're writing. So that's like automatic writing. And then what also fell in my lap here is justice. This above all to thine own self be true, and it must follow as night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. William Shakespeare. Some of you could be fans of William Shakespeare and his writing, his plays I'm getting. You could read his plays a lot. Maybe some of you are writing your own play or writing your own book, and it's kind of in this similar theme to how William Shakespeare writes. But I feel like you really enjoy reading, like particularly like Old English as well. Some of you could have dreams of being a farmer or just owning your own land. Like you want your own homestead. And this can be what that leap of faith is to move abroad where you can purchase your own land and start your own homestead. And this is where you're going to realize this is what you were always supposed to do. This is your purpose. This is home. This is where you find your footing. What else, Spirit? Can I get one more card from this deck, please? One more card or no more? I don't want any more from this deck. We're going to move on to this one here. What do the collective need to hear right now, Spirit? I feel like as well, the passed over loved one, the ancestor that was coming through, they may have been quite somber when they were alive. Maybe you didn't see them laughing as much or having fun. Or that's how you viewed them. They were very serious, they were very somber, they were very stern. But they were actually always like giggling or laughing to themselves, like behind the scenes. Like there was a mystery about them. There's always something about them that other people couldn't put their finger on, or other people didn't get to experience. They kept a lot of who they were to themselves. And there's parts of this that you've always wanted to be that mystery. You've always admired. They weren't always like running their mouth. They did keep secrets. They knew how to keep secrets. And it's these parts of them that you were kind of admiring and you were taking on yourself. But it's like the seriousness. You're more like of a loose or fun-loving person. Like you're more of a very smiley person. And then you could be like more somber or more serious behind the scenes. Like you may not show that side of yourself because there's like a mirroring going on. But I do feel like people often get you mistaken or people often get you wrong. And it was the same for this passed over ancestor. But you don't mind that. You don't mind the fact that you're like a puzzle that people can't work out. Or there's something about you that people can't put their finger on. You like that. Some of you could be have a lot of Aquarius in your chart. A lot of air signs within your chart. One card from this deck, please, Spirit. I'm hearing fixed. There is something very fixed and stubborn about your energy. But Spirit don't want you to change this. They don't want you to change the fact that you can be very stubborn. Because this has actually saved you a few times from allowing the wrong people into your life. Or for the wrong people to get their hands on you, I'm hearing. We have here Angel. Your angels are guiding and protecting you on your spiritual journey. And this is literally like who you are rising into. You're gaining your ethereal wings. Some of you could be feeling like a kind of tingling or a numbness on your upper back. And this is your ethereal wings that are growing. So it's like you've literally got these wings that are coming out of your back that are attached to your auric field. But you're really realizing and seeing your light and who you are and who you're always supposed to be. But this is how God wants you shining. You're being pushed out on the main stage into the world like this. And everybody's going to see your light now. They're all going to see what you were trying to hide. And maybe some people thought there was like something off or something bad about you that you always trying to hide. Or maybe it's the fact that you're a bit aloof. But really what they don't realize is that this was being cloaked. All of this beautiful holy light within you was being cloaked and hidden from their view. Because had they seen it at their time, they may have tried to siphon it or take it from themselves or just take advantage of you. And in the past, at that time, you didn't have as strong or firm boundaries. So you then may have allowed people who would have seen this light take advantage of you. But you are very, very protected by your ancestors, by your spiritual core, and by your angelic beings that are around you at present. Some of you could be seeing wings. You could be dreaming of wings. You could be seeing orbs. You could be seeing orbs of light around you. Particularly like right before you're going to bed or right when you wake up in the morning. What else, Spirit? Can I get one more card, please, from this deck? We have here Cracker. Positive energy surrounds you. Love, joy, and good fortune await. So a lot of you, because of this spiritual path you've been on, we've got the number 7 here, because of this spiritual path that you've been on and taking it serious to reach an enlightenment and getting closer and closer to your soul, the abundance is now coming in. It's like you took the spiritual path first. You took the spiritual path at a very young age. And this was the right way to do it. Because you've gone through all those spiritual awakenings. You've gone through that huge death and rebirth and woken up to the illusion of what this realm and this world sometimes is. So now you see with clearer eyes. You see with more clarity. And you know who you are at a younger age. Let me read it again. It says, positive energy surrounds you. Love, joy, and good fortune await. So there is a shift coming in for you. And Spirit don't want you to give up at the last hurdle. Because before big changes come in, before new beginnings come in, before you get that big break or that big blessing, is often when everything gets very frustrating. Because those last layers that you need to work for come rushing up to the surface. And you need to face them. And they can often feel a bit heavy. Or it's like you're revisiting stuff that you thought you'd already healed, that you'd already worked for. And you're like, for God's sake, why is God bringing this to my door again? Why have I got to go through this again? Why have I got to face this again? I was about to say fade. Some of you just could just got like a faded haircut, or it's just the fact that you're working through these layers step by step, and things kind of need to fade. They need to fade out. They need to lift slowly, because everything was to come up. All of those layers, they was all to come up at the same time. It'd be too much. It'd be too much, and that would make you sick. Because it would be a shock on the system, particularly on the physical body. What else, Spirit? What do the collective need to hear right now? Can I get a few messages, please? We have yin and yang. You could be seeing repeating 2s everywhere, 22. It's also a master number because you have committed mastery. You are now that alchemist. You are that magician. You are whole. The light and dark within you. Everything within you, day and night, I'm hearing, divine masculine, divine feminine, is now in an embrace. It's all coming together in a dance. And it's a beautiful dance at that. Some of you guys could be seeing the yin and yang symbol everywhere at the moment. What else, Spirit? Again, it's something about gold and black. The colours gold and black are very significant. Keep coming through. What else do the collective need to hear? We have broken heart. So this is what you guys have been mending. Some of you could have felt a bit, the word somber again is coming through. Maybe you've just lost a passed over loved one. Maybe that's who keeps coming through. They could have just passed over. So you're still working through those layers of grief. The first few years are always the hardest because you need to get used to that person no longer physically being here. And a lot of you may need to get used to them being part of your spiritual court. So they may step forward now as a spirit guide. That's what I've often struggled with in a passed over loved one. When they've passed over and then they've like come forward to me as a guide. And that's what I would struggle with at first. Because obviously I was used to them being in the physical. And then you're still grieving. So it's hard to really accept and surrender to the fact that they're no longer here in the physical. They're now in the spirit world. They're now home with God. The broken heart is coming through. You see how it's mending. You see how it has a scar, it has a crack, but it's very much together and it's mending. So any heart activations that you guys have recently been through, like an ego death where the heart does kind of get cracked open, it's now mending now. So you're coming out the other end of it. I'm hearing you've learnt from your scars. You've learnt from your scars. So a lot of you have a lot to teach when it comes to heartbreak and when it comes to grief. You know how to move through the motions, I'm hearing. You know how to release it and truly release it. So you're not just kind of bypassing and just acting and pretending as if everything's okay and just getting on with life because you have to. You actually know how to get to the root of a heartbreak. Whether it's grief from losing a passed over loved one or whether it's like a friend, family member, a romantic partner who has stabbed you in the back or who's broken your heart. You know how to really sit with the heart, mend it and get to the root. I'm hearing you're the glue. So you guys could be the glue when it comes to family. Like maybe you're always getting people together. Or you're just the glue to a lot of people who are attracted to you. Like friends, colleagues. You're always the one who brings people together. Something about you being the glue. We have 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. And this is also connected to the throat chakra. And I did feel like I keep tripping over my words. And when I was trying to read a lot of the cards, it's like the words and the letters were kind of moving. They were changing. They were shifting around. So a lot of you guys could have been doing work on your throat chakra recently. You may have suffered with a speech impediment in the past. If it's not a speech impediment, it could have just been something like dyslexia where you struggled to read and write in the past. And this also where other people may be looking at you in amazement because a lot of you, I feel like you have a gift for writing, particularly channeling. You're like a conduit for the Most High when you are writing. So you put the pen to the pad and God just writes through you. But again, I'm taking this as a confirmation that you are gaining your ethereal wings. So again, look out for the sign of wings. You could be seeing angel wings everywhere. I'm hearing you're about to take flight. You're about to take flight. What else, Spirit? And other people around you can feel this. They can sense this. They know you're about to take flight. And some of you, you're going to be moving abroad. Obviously, some people may be projected onto you because obviously if you're moving, they're not going to have access to you. They're not going to be around you. They're not going to see you as much. And obviously, they will miss you, but they could be projected in a more negative way. Like, oh, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should move. But this is just where it's coming from. We have daughter value. Literally confirmation of what you are heading towards, of what is coming in for you, because you've got an alignment. And again, to me, it looks like a stage, and this is like the theatre curtain, and it's being pulled back. And Spirit kept showing me someone being pushed on the stage, and the spotlight is coming on you. And this is that spotlight, and the spotlight is all of this abundance that is now coming in for you. It's that spiritual inheritance. It's what you deserve. Other people were also with that. Obviously, you're going to get envy and jealousy. But again, you're at that point where you know how to deal with this. Your discernment is really high. You're really connected to your intuition. And you also use your brain and your heart in unison. So you listen to your heart, you walk with your heart, but you also use your logical mind. And you need to be using them in unison, particularly when it comes to dating. Can we get a few cards from this deck, please, Spirit? Some of you, I feel like there's a certain age where you always knew, like, this is when I'm going to be in my power. This is when when everything that I've been praying for is going to be coming in. You always knew it was going to be a certain age. For some of you, it could have been around 30. For some of you, it would have been a lot younger, like you could be in your early 20s. For some of you, you're going to be older. But you always knew there was a specific age where you were going to meet this right person that's going to be your life partner. You always knew there was a specific age where you were going to become a parent. You always knew there was a specific age where you would be doing your purpose and earning money. And just for a lot of you watching, you're coming up to that age now. Or you are that age now. What else, Spirit? Can I get a few cards from this deck, please? What do the collective need to hear? Not sure if they want this deck. Do you want to use this deck? Okay, so we have pink, self-love and nurture. And I'm just drawn to the pearls. So your pearls of wisdom, you're literally holding them in your hand. Like before your pearls of wisdom, you may have kept them very, very close to your chest. You may have kind of hidden them because it's attached to that light that you were hiding or that was being cloaked by God. Because if people saw it, they could have stolen your ideas or could have just kind of used you in some way. But now because you're in your power and you've got very strong boundaries and you won't allow people to, I'm hearing, to take the mick. You won't allow people to take the mick. All of these pearls of wisdom and all of this light is just like sprouting out of you. I'm hearing sprouting as well, so it's just like sprouting out of you. And you are being sprouted. So you are really and truly now standing in your power. You could be seeing pink everywhere. That could be like another colour, an orb. You keep seeing pink. And again, pink is I can't even speak. Pink is like a very uplifting, happy colour, but it also gives me romance. So for a lot of you, you could be meeting that right person for you now. Like it's divine time for you to come in union. It could also confirm for those of you who've always felt like you're going to have a daughter in this lifetime. But we have here, Metatron Rainbow Bridge, always open. And the rainbow came through on one of the poems in the beginning of the reading. So you could be seeing rainbows everywhere, particularly like a double rainbow. This is just that confirmation that abundance is coming in for you. That, like that pot of gold that was at the end of the rainbow, you're about to find it. You're about to stumble upon it. But you haven't stumbled upon it. You've got into alignment. So it's been placed right in front of you, in your view, by God. And you see here above the rainbow, you see the wing. So again, there's something about angel wings that are very, very significant. I do feel like a lot of you you're dreaming of angels. You could be dreaming as well of like the biblical angels. So you know the wings and it has like a lot of eyes. So you could be dreaming of angels. There's something about the astral realm and angels. And maybe it's just your guardian angels and your passed over loved ones that are visiting you a lot in your dream state at the moment. As I said earlier, the veil is very thin at this time of year and there's a lot of spiritual activity. So you could be being visited. It's not just a dream. I'm hearing you're being visited by passed over loved ones and by your angels. And they could be giving you like signs and messages. Maybe they're holding something specific that has a sign or a synchronicity in it for you with where you're at right now. And then we have karma. Untying the knots. I thought it said unifying. It says untying the knots. So you guys, you could be seeing 8s everywhere, like 888. And 8 is that number that is connected to karma, but it's connected to wealth. And I feel like a lot of you have lifted and worked through all of those patterns that you kind of inherited from your parents. Or more so not inherited, but what you were taught, what you were programmed and what you were taught by the adults around you. You're breaking down that old programming, or you have been breaking down that old programming. And you're realizing it's actually easier than you thought to come into abundance. It's actually easier than you thought to make money. And it isn't something that's like far-fetched. Like maybe if you always felt like you had a dream that you wanted to be a millionaire, you could have seen it as something that was way over there and it was too far-fetched, and it happens to these people over here, but it would never happen to me. And now you're realizing that that was a block and that was stopping you. You're changing these thoughts, you're stopping these thoughts in their tracks, and you're realizing, actually no, God has declared that abundance is for me. God has declared that I hold a spark of the holy light. And you're realizing that you too are deserving of nice things. You too are deserving of abundance. This deck. Okay. We're going to close out the reading, please, Spirit. So can I get a few signs from this deck, please, of what the collective need to hear right now? We have a feather, messages, literally. So some of you guys could be finding feathers everywhere. And the feathers that you find, they could literally have a glow. As if this isn't like a feather from this room. This isn't a feather from a bird. This is a feather from an angel wing. Like it literally has a glow. You could find it in like a very obscure, very random place. And again, look, we have the number 7. Very spiritual number, which is connected to enlightenment. And the fact that you've reached a very significant point in your spiritual journey. They're saying again, do not give up at the last hurdle. You're literally right there. You're literally standing outside the door to your new reality, to your new dawn, to your new world. So don't give up. I'm hearing don't you dare give up. And keep pushing. This is like that last push. It's like a woman who's in labour and she's giving birth. And like once the head is out, that part was hard. But now you have the harder part of like getting the shoulders out. And they're saying it's in that last push. You're in the last push and you're about to give birth. What else, Spirit? Can I get one more card, please, from this deck? Some of you guys could be watching, like, one born every minute. Or just, like, natural births on YouTube, stuff like that. You could be watching birthing videos. Maybe some of you guys are pregnant currently. Or you could be trying to conceive. But you just said something about birthing and labour and how women are able to grow a whole human being inside them and then push them out. There's something about that, the miracle of birth, that really intrigues you. What else, Spirit? It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You could be a man who's kind of preparing yourself because your partner is about to give birth. Or you know that you've been talking about having children, you know that your partner will be giving birth in the future, so you're preparing yourself like, okay, how does it all work? How do I help if I can help? Like, what can I do? Did you want another card from this deck, Spirit? No. They want a poem. So we're going to get one more poem to close out the reading. And what do the collective most need to hear right now? Can I get one more poem, please, Spirit, to close out the reading? Okay, so this poem says, "The Lord is my shepherd." She recites the Psalm 23, her head bowed down and hands to her knees. "Please lift this heaviness. I feel a dark cloud hovering over me." She couldn't take it anymore, so pleaded with the Lord. Then a sudden force pulled the tension from her back. It told her to pick up the slack and pray more often to free yourself from a state of lack. The fog cleared from her heart and crown. She began to raise her head. Years it had been wearing the same old frown. Now each day she begins to shine away, hands and head held high, as she recites her prayers to the God above the sky. So that literally confirms where you'd come from in the past and where you now are in the present moment, and who you now are in the present moment. So a lot of you guys you're like this. I'm hearing you're like this with God. So you're very tight with your spiritual core and with God. You're waking up, you're praying every day. You pray for other people. You don't just pray for yourself and the things that you want to pull into your reality. You're also praying for other people, and this doesn't go unnoticed. And it's like other people's ancestors and spiritual court are seeing the work, I'm hearing the goodwill, the work that you do for other people, the charity that you do for other people. Some of you could work for a charity, or maybe you have in the past. You could have done like volunteering, you could have worked for free for a charity. And it's like all of these things, all of this goodness that you've put out into the world and how you've helped other people is now coming back to you. And it's also their ancestors who are like helping to remove obstacles that are in your way, because you were that person who was placed in their ancestors' life as an earth angel. So that's coming through for someone. But that's all the messages that are coming through today. I hope that did resonate with someone out there, and I will see you in my next video.